Did you know that over 70% of Americans qualify to file their taxes for free?
Did he say free?
And guess how many Americans take advantage of this free service? 3%. Yes, you heard me right, 3%. Well, in this video, I'm going to help you determine if you're part of the large group of Americans that qualify and the different options available to you, as well as those who don't qualify for free tax filing, and show how that group can file for as low as $15. And before we dig in, smash that subscribe button and your wallet will thank you. So how do you file your taxes for free? There are several different software vendors that will guide you through filling out and submitting your taxes for free. First, I'll walk you through the IRS service called the Free File Program. This lets qualified taxpayers prepare and file federal and state income tax returns online using guided tax preparation software. It's safe, easy, and no cost to you.
Seems like a no-brainer to me.
Before we go through the IRS free file options, I want to go over briefly what adjusted gross income is, since the AGI acronym is referred to regularly when looking at tax filing options and whether you qualify for free filing. Here's a snippet from the IRS's website. Your adjusted gross income, also known as AGI, is defined as your total income, which would be your wages or salary, plus other forms of income like interest, dividends, and capital gains from stock transactions, and then minus your deductions or adjustments, which is a pretty broad category, but would include things like student loan interest, teacher expenses, and charitable contributions, and many other items. If you have last year's federal tax form, line 15 on the normal 1040 form will show you your AGI. Now that we have an understanding of AGI, let's take a look at the IRS free file options they have for the 2023 filing year. Here's the IRS's free file online site. And as you'll see here, there's 8 different companies that support this program. And I just wanted to go through this briefly just to show you what information they provide here so that you can make a decision if one of these is a fit for you and you want to use one of these preparation services to file your taxes this year. They all have the same information as far as what the requirements are to qualify. They each have an AGI or adjusted gross income that would qualify the program. They talk about what age qualifies for each program, and most of them it's any age, but there are a few in here that's an age range that they cover. And then it talks about which federal returns they support, the states that they support for a federal return. Many of them are free for all states, but there's a couple, as you can see on this IRS free file program, they actually only support maybe 20 or 25 states as far as the federal return, and then don't support any state returns for free. And then the last 2 things they mention here is the Earned Income Tax Credit, the EITC, whether that's included, as well as military pay. And to make it easier for you, I crunched some of the numbers and the parameters of the 8 companies that are part of the IRS program and came up with the following list. When you look at these, it's pretty clear that there's a few that stand out as the best options, which I highlighted in green here. The items highlighted in red, I don't recommend because they either don't have coverage for all 50 states for federal and state filings, or their prices for filing state returns that they don't support are high. For those that have an AGI of 45,000 or less, or are active duty military with an AGI of 79,000 or less, I would recommend Free Tax USA as the first choice, although online taxes has the same benefit to those under 45,000 and active duty under 79,000. I've personally used Free Tax USA for several years and found it to have a very solid interface at very little or no cost, depending on whether you qualify for the free program or not. Even if you don't qualify for the free offer through the IRS, Free Tax USA is still free to file your federal return and only $14.99 to file your state return. If you have an AGI over 45,000 but less than 79,000, then I would recommend 1040.com, which is free to file federal and also free to file your state taxes in the 24 states I've listed here. But if your state isn't in that list, then it's only $9.99 to file the state portion, which is very reasonable. As I mentioned earlier, I can't recommend any of the others in the IRS program due to their limitations of not supporting free state filings or not supporting all states. TaxSlayer and TaxAct specifically are basically charging $40 for each state filing, although TaxSlayer does cover 22 of the 50 states for free. Now, for those that have an AGI higher than 79,000, guess what? You may be able to file your taxes for free as well.
Did he say free again?
He sure did.
If you're in that group, I may have good news for you as well, since you might be able to file both your federal and state taxes for free, depending upon your current tax situation. As you can see in this chart, each of the major online tax companies are listed, as well as one you may not even know can do your taxes. Which one is that? Cash App.
Do my taxes with Cash App? Who knew?
You're probably wondering, Cash App? Isn't that for sending money to people like Venmo or Zelle? Well, yes, it is, but it also has the capability to do your taxes. And the best part? It's totally free if you qualify. Cash App stands out in that it supports a lot of different tax scenarios and can easily be recommended as a great option for those that don't qualify for the IRS pre-file program, although it is quite limited from a support perspective, and there are no upgrade options available that allow you access to a tax professional. Once again, I'll mention Pre-Tax USA as a solid option here, which supports all tax scenarios and only requires a $14.99 fee to file for each state. H&R Block, TurboTax, and TaxAct are very similar in what they support with their free option. None of them support self-employed individuals, itemizing deductions, or any stock or investment sales. TaxAct almost rules itself out here again, as it charges almost $40 to file your state taxes, even if you qualify for a free federal file. TaxSlayer is the most limited, as it only allows for an AGI of $100,000. You have to be less than 65. It doesn't support dependents, and only single or married filing jointly can get the free filing option. Finally, we'll go through those that don't qualify for any of the free filing options we already mentioned outside of Cash App. Each tax software has their own way of naming their different tax coverage packages, but in general, you'll need to get their deluxe package if you need to itemize deductions, and their premium or pro version if you have any stock investment sales. If you're self-employed, you'll likely have to purchase that particular package, which is the most expensive option. For self-employed filers, I'd recommend Pre-Tax USA because their software includes self-employed as part of their all-inclusive standard package, and you'll only have to pay $14.99 to file. For TurboTax, TaxAct, TaxSlayer, and H&R Block, their self-employed packages range from $93 to $128, and their deluxe packages range from $63 to $78. I hope this information was useful and helped clarify and explain how you can take advantage of good tax software and not have to pay a lot to file this year. Ultimately, if you feel comfortable with a particular tax vendor, then it may make sense to stay with them, or if you're not comfortable using the free online options, then going to a tax professional may make the most sense for you. But I wanted to make sure I gave you as much information as possible in this short video, so you can see there are a lot of free options available for most Americans, and some really inexpensive choices for those that don't qualify for the free option. As always, thanks for watching and hanging around till the end. I tried to make this a little more fun, being that we're talking about taxes, because that's not always too exciting. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you know when I put out new content focused on your money, how to manage it best. See you next time.